Well, boys and girls, I was hiking down from up there on my way to scout out another mine, and I happened to notice the telltale waste rock pile of a mine, or an adit to be more specific, on my exploration down into the canyon. And of course that got me quite enthusiastic about what could be here. And sure enough, there we have it. Now, I was fairly pessimistic about this being open because, as you can see, there's a lot of dirt here, and usually that means that they are eroded shut. However, the roots of that tree there have kept this open, and I stuck my flashlight in there, and it looks like it goes back for, well, as far as I could see. So I'll be headed in there in just a minute to check that out for you guys. It's probably just a little prospect because you see a couple boards right there, another one down here. There's a scrap of metal right there, but this waste rock pile is not that big, so I believe this is just a little prospect, most likely. However, even those can be quite interesting at times. So, give you guys a view of where I am. I'm headed down into the canyon there. And like I said, this is not marked on any maps as either a prospect or an adit or anything. So I will now head in there and see what we're working with. That's my backpack there next to the entrance. There's not some lost soul in there. Well, maybe there is, but that's not their backpack if there are. So this is where I'm gonna get in and get a better view of the portal there. So I'm gonna turn the camera off as I squeeze through that because I'm by myself, and it's trickier to maneuver without any help. Okay, I'm just inside the portal now, and in fact, looking back, that's what I came through. And I would encourage everyone to go out and hug a tree today, because you can see pretty clearly here that those tree roots are exactly what is keeping this open for us to be able to explore. Because if they weren't there, that would have eroded shut a long time ago. And then, looking out in front of me, looks like it goes back a respectable way. We'll get down there and check it out. Not sure what type of rock this is in here. It's sort of a slate consistency, if you can see that in the wall there. You can see the pick marks there really clearly too, which is interesting. It's not very high here. I'm crouching down. Some of that blue that we see so often. Looks like a tie. Yeah, see some ties here for the rails that were obviously here at one time, or maybe they're the strips. This looks kind of like a low budget mine, but either way, you can see where the ties were, and then the pegs right there where the rails or strips were held down onto them. Okay, looks like I'm coming up on a collapse or the end here. See more of those ties in front of me. And yeah, this looks like the end. Yep, it's the end for me anyway. That looks like a collapse. I don't think this is the end. Just peeking back in the corner to see if I can see where it keeps going at all. There's the remains of a timber right there. So obviously this was of concern to the miners in the past, and their concerns were justified, as this is where the collapse is. So unfortunately that's as far as we'll go with this one, but nice little prospect, and of course telling time is always appreciated. And that's looking back to where I came in. Alright, so I'm down below that first adit now, and you can see there's a little prospect here. Hopefully you can see the light's terrible. That divot in the cliff right there, and there's a small landing here where these trees have come down, but this is hardly worth mentioning. It does look like there's some cabins down here though that are connected to the mine, so I'll go check those out now. I always like finding stuff like this. Here you can see the remains of the miner's cabin. There are the old box springs right there. And then obviously this is a doorway. You can see the remains of the frame there. And some old cans and such in here. Some sort of cabinet in front of me. You can see the hinges. And right there was obviously the chimney. You still see some of the tin that was on the roof. Very cool. Love finding stuff like that. And let's see. Got some rocks, maybe some more samples and such, and some pipe, more bits of metal and cans down here. Okay, coming down along the creek now, and there's a trail coming up here, kind of faint, but around there. Trail coming up here off of the creek that comes up to another cabin here. You can see the old cross-cut method they used there, and then here are the remains of the cabin. Got the chimney, or what's left of it, right in front of me. Love that old bowl right there. Very rusted out, but still very cool. And you can see well, the rough outline of it, but unfortunately there's not much left. Got some more boards down there and a bunch of wild grapes here, so would have been a nice spot.